give you guys my step-by-step playbook of how I actually scale these local service-based businesses, what I do before even I launch the ads. I see a lot of people, they rush to launch ads and they get poor results. I also see a lot of marketers in the space saying that you need to spend $50 to $100 a day or a little bit more to get a mass amount of volume and just leads in general. But I'm going to debunk everything today, show you guys, some of my results and also a live Meta Ads account and how I actually set up these accounts and some of the creatives I'm actually running right now. But as you guys can see here, like 127 leads with a $4 CPL. We actually really do this over here at STEM Marketing Group. So yeah, let's get right into step number 1 of this video. So before you even start running ads for this company or whoever you're working with, you want to send them 2 onboarding forms. You want to figure out the business's core offers and their ideal clients, who they want to work with and who they don't want to work with, because these are key steps for later on when you do the ad library research. You also want to figure out location targeting, because you got to remember every business is different. If it has a physical location, like for example med spa, they would only probably want to talk to people 20 to 30 minutes away, or maybe like 40 minutes away. But if it's like a roofer or some sort of like blue collar company, they would probably have a bigger radius or like a broader radius, because they're more likely to go to a job an hour or 2 hours away, and also they don't have a physical location because they're going to customers' homes. You also want to figure out the highest margin service. Why? Because if a business has anywhere from a $600 to $800 a month ad spend, I would only recommend prioritizing one service, because you don't want to spread their ad spend too thin. I've done this earlier in my agency career, that say like I'm working with a roofer, we would do too many services at once and we wouldn't be able to get mass amount of results or good results. So I would figure out the highest margin service, the best service, or their longest LTV. For example, if we look at a roofer, their highest LTV is full roof replacements, not small repairs. Why? A repair might be $300 to $800 and they're more likely to get a bad review, because a homeowner normally wants cheap fixes or band-aid fixes. And basically, once that fix gets like bad again, they're just gonna blame that local roofing company. While if you're spending money on just like repairs for a roofer, you might as well just spend all that money, that $600 to $800 a month ad spend, to get them full roof replacements. Yeah, your cost per result might be a little bit more, but you're gonna bring them quality leads and just better leads in general. And normally a full roof replacement is 12 to 18K per job, so you're making that roofer more money. Also, the ideal client of a roofer is obviously a homeowner with an older roof. Identifying the business's core needs and what they offer is super important when you're a marketer, right? You want to understand their business as much as they do themselves, so you can get them mass amount of results. But let's get into step number 2. Number 2 is ad library research and creative angles. And as I said again, right, if you're working with these local service-based businesses, retaining them for 1.5 to 2K a month or even more, and you're stuck at just getting them results, it's because you're not doing the specific part in your end in fulfillment to actually get them results. You're probably just, rushing to, make some sort of ad creatives and they just flop, right? So just so it doesn't flop, you want to look at step number 2 is just the ad library research and the creative angles. And you can automate this step fully with AI. And what you want to do is you want to build a skill inside of Claude or Manus, and you want to attach the research documents you got before. So the onboarding documents you sent earlier, the ideal client profiles, and just the business's core offers are going to help so much. What you're going to do after you get the ad library research from Manus or Claude or whatever software or AI platform you're using, you want to figure out and narrow down on one winning angle, because you're only spending $20 a day. Like, you don't want to test multiple different angles. I would find one angle and basically just run with it. And if that angle fatigues, go with another angle. But inside of that ad library research, you want to figure out the longest performers. And what I mean by that is Manus or Claude is going to build you out and show you really good winning ad creatives. You want to figure out how long those winning ad creatives have been running. So for example, this ad could have been running for 46 weeks, or this ad has been running for 2 to 3 months. But this basically means these ads are winners, and they're winners for that specific company. So you're going to take those concepts or whatever messaging they're saying inside of those ads and basically make it 100 times better. You did the ad library research and now you've probably found a couple different ad angles, and these are ad angles I've personally used for roofers myself, because I do work with a lot of roofers and just like home service businesses in general. But if you're running ads for like home service and home service right now, take these angles and honestly run with them. But angle number 1 is you can make specific ads that and target people who have older roofs, right? You can make a simple static ad and basically say roof over 20 years old, this is my solution, or whatever you want. Because right now with Meta Andromeda, especially with the Andromeda update, two things are super key. Number one, the creative does most of the work, and creatives are so easy to make right now because we have all these AI tools to actually make really good high-end creatives. But another big part of just running ads right now is the messaging, right? Because Meta is really good at putting our ads in front of the right people. And if your messaging is really good, it's going to, look for those people who are looking for these full roof replacements or have these older roofs. So yeah, have really good messaging. And angle number two is if you have high CPMs. And what I mean by that is high CPMs are cost per 1,000 impressions. How much does it cost to reach 1,000 people? So for example, if my CPMs are $100 and I'm only spending $20 a day, that basically means I'm gonna have to wait 6 to maybe 8 days, depending on how your account is spending, to at minimum reach 1,000 people. So what I would recommend is narrow down your messaging. So if I'm working with a roofer and I have really high CPMs, what I would do is talk to that specific state's roof type. And what I mean by that is for this example, we'll talk about California homeowners. But what you can do inside of that creative is basically talk and say that, hey, your clay type roof is deteriorating, you should get a full roof replacement or something like that. So you narrow down on who you're talking to and you're hitting that homeowner's pain points. And you're gonna make a really scroll stopping ad. Just think about it. If I'm having this problem right now and I see your ad and you're talking about clay type roofs deteriorating and how old my roof is, it's basically going to hit my pain, and I'm more likely to, or fill out whatever form on your landing page. So if you have high CPMs right now and you're running ads, just narrow down your messaging. Meta will grace you with cheaper CPMs. It can either cut in half, or I've seen accounts where we have $200 CPMs, and then the next day we're sitting at $30. So boom, fix that right there. Angle number three is just a financing angle and insurance, but just be careful with financial claims. Like if you're running ads and you're saying like, oh, full roof replacement for like $29 per month, you're probably going to get that ad rejected. So just reframe how you're basically speaking about it and go from there. But just be careful in general. You do all your ad library research and you're going to figure out all the angles Claude or Manus has given to you, but you want to narrow down on one angle. So for this example, we can have specific messaging towards people who have older roofs, and you would basically take that angle and make 3 different concepts. So you can make before and after static ads with really good messaging, 11 lab voiceover videos with B-roll. So 11 Lab is just like an AI voice, and just B-roll of that local roofer or whoever just doing just their repairs or their full roof replacements, or just B-roll in general. These are one of my favorite styles of ads because you're able to storytell, and you're able to storytell in so many different ways. 3 is just founder-led videos. Just get that homeowner in front of the camera and basically, have a 20 to 30 second long video just talking about older roofs and why they need like a full roof replacement. Right. And you can also get really creative with this. Like, for example, like we work with a lot of home service businesses in California, like pool remodelers, bathroom remodelers, and a lot of roofers. And another big one is a lot of people speak Spanish in California. So we have, videos just fully in Spanish. The business owner doesn't even need to speak Spanish. You can just use AI tools to just configure that. So it just is in Spanish, but just make sure they're saying the right things. But yeah, this is my example for a roofer. We also work with a lot of med spas and plastic surgery clinics. So these are some of the angles I would use specifically for them. So angle number 1 is just an entry level offer, such as $99 Botox. It's just an OTO, like a one-time offer. It's a really good offer just to, get them into the door. And as well as like Botox is a type of service that you need to keep doing just to, keep it to look good. And a lot of med spas have so many different services, and if they do a good job the first time, they're gonna do their nose or their whatever to their face next. So have that entry level offer and just go with that. All right, angle number 2 is just you want to talk to women who want to be more confident. As I said before and earlier, Meta is really good at putting our ads in front of the right people. So if you narrow down your messaging of who you want to speak to and your ideal client, you're going to hit a specific audience pool. And yeah, I've done this before, and I've also seen that in these med spas, and if you look at a lot of med spas Google reviews, women tend to feel more confident like as they like feel like if they look better, they'll feel more confident, right? So you want to hit that pain point and you're going to get really good results. And angle number three is just you want to, if you could also talk to an older demographic. For example, if that med spa and you like understand that they have an older demographic, you could just talk to people inside of that ad who want to have less wrinkles or want to feel younger, as well as it, like if you see like your ad account getting fatigued, you can just hit a different audience pool. Or like if you look at your metrics and you see that you're talking to people 40 years or older, you can just hit them with specific pain points that they're dealing with right now. But yeah, basically I would just narrow down with an angle again and just make super simple ads, like before and after static ads. But for a med spa, I would do video testimonials with B-roll. But you want B-roll with that specific client. So if that client is talking to the camera, you also want B-roll of whatever procedure or whatever that clinic is doing for them. Because if a prospective client is looking at your ad, they'll just feel more comfortable and trust you early on to become a lead and to actually pay for your service. And number three is just more static ads with offers and call outs, because yeah, like these entry level offers are super easy and you can just call out different pains and to, actually get them to be a lead. But yeah, ad library research is super key when you're running ads. Like you just don't want to have no streamline of process. Have this process and you're going to get good results. If you don't do this, you're going to get poor results. But let's get into actually a live meta ad account. We onboarded this client 30 days ago, and their ads have been only live for 20-ish days. They only spend $25 a day, as you can see, and Meta's telling us to, up our spend to get more results. But basically, our target CPO was around $25, but we crushed that. And I'll show you guys later on, like my ad accounts, like setup, what type of campaigns I actually run. But yeah, we got 73 leads. Our cost per lead is around $7, but we're running super simple ads. Like as you can see, founder-led ads with entry-level offers. As I said before, entry-level offers rip, and you can see video ads normally get most of the spend, especially for med spas, but 72 leads are just from that ad alone. And if we want to look at more of our metrics, like let's go look at more in-depth metrics. Like we can look at our CPMs and like let's look at our CTRs. As you can see right here, like our CPMs are pretty low, $19, and our click-through rate is at 1% or above 1%. If it's lower than 1%, that you have a creative issue, you need to fix that right away. But yeah, as you can see here, it's super easy to get these results if you just dial in your ad library research. But let me show you guys some more results as well. All right, as you guys can see here, this is for a RV company that sells RV mattresses in what's it called, in Texas, and it's a very competitive market. Right, our target CPO for this company was going to be $50 per lead, but as you can see here, we've been running their ads for around 8 days, and we already got them 102 leads, and their cost per lead is $1.48. And what we did to stand out in their market is talk to a specific avatar. What they want is just better sleep quality, so we're calling that out inside of the ad. So as you can see here, the RV mattress Texas RVers sleep better on, and it's just scroll stopping, number one, and number two is just hitting that specific prospective clients' pain points, right? And as you can see here, like 96 leads are just coming from that static ad alone. This company had no videos, right? So we had to double down on just static advertisement. But yeah, as you can see here, CPMs are super low, $15 CPMs, and our click-through rates are 2% and above. So we're crushing for this ad account. But let's go more so of my ad account structure and just like how I set these campaigns up. Launching a new ad for this company, I'm just gonna make a lead campaign, name it whatever you want. I normally like to do whatever like style of campaign budget I'm doing. So for this, I'm doing CBOs. I like doing campaign budget optimization better than ABOs for a smaller ad budget, because CBOs are able to get signals quicker and just maximize your ad spend like right away. So if say one static is getting a lot of signals or just conversions right away, you're going to get more results with that one static ad. But CBOs do fatigue pretty quick, like in 14 to 18 days. But you just want to just make iterations that I will tell you guys of how to actually scale these campaigns later on. But yeah, pick your budget and just go into your ad set level. I'd recommend just doing instant forms right away, but I'll show you guys later as well, like what I do to get quality leads with instant forms. You can maximize number of leads right now because you need to get out of the learning phase fast. You need 50 conversions to be able to get out of that specific learning phase. So maximize number of leads now, and then you can maximize number of qualified leads later on, but you got to make sure the business has a CRM so they can move it into different pipelines. So you're sending Meta signals that, hey, like this is a quality lead, and this is what a disqualified lead is. And then you want to go down here, and you basically, if they like, for example, like this is a business that wants to target all of Texas, so it's super broad. But if it's a specific location, make sure you put in their address and you have a specific mile or whatever radius behind that. If you click that drop down as well, you can also do like specific age targeting, so 18 to 65. For this company alone, I would only want to spend money on targeting people around 30 and above. So basically, when you get into the ad level, I know like this account needs to fix their payment methods, but basically what you're going to do in the ad level is you only want 3 creatives per $20, right? If I'm spending $20 a day, I don't want to flood that CBO campaign with like 8 to 10 creatives. As I said before, CBOs signal 1 or 2 creatives. They're going to get the majority of the spend. And you don't want to just throw 8 creatives there because Meta's not going to be able to optimize for all 8 creatives. So what I would do is figure out your top 3 winning ads and put them in there. So I would have 3 creatives per just campaign. Make sure you have a good ad structure set up. So if you're spending like $20 a day or less, have a CBO campaign so you can get results right away. But if you're spending $40 or above, have an ABO, try to test out different angles and put more spend towards whatever angles are ripping. Number 4 is instant forms or just like a landing page or a VSL. But I would recommend, and I'm a big believer on it, instant forms rip, and you're going to get a really good cost per result. Why do I like instant forms? Because it's super low friction. You stay on the platform, you're staying on Facebook or Instagram, and you'll get quality leads if you do it right. Yes, you could get bad leads if you're setting up your instant forms incorrectly. So basically, say you have your ad and you're just sending them to contact fields, you're going to get really shitty leads because with just how Meta's interactivity works, somebody could just look at your ad and basically by accidentally like click a button or just interact with whatever, and their information is going to be sent to that business owner and they're going to call them, and what they're going to say is like, no, we've never filled out any type of form or anything. But to get good quality leads with instant forms, I would ask 2 to 3 questions before they even hit contact fields. Like for example, for a roofer, I would ask about that prospective client's interest levels, the age of their roof, urgency of how soon they would want to get it done, because I do not like asking financial questions because financial questions will bring you low quality leads, or people normally tend to lie on this financial qualification questions, but you just want to reframe the question, right? So I would just ask urgency of how soon they would want to get it done. So for example, if they want to get it done in 2 weeks, 2 to 3 months, or in a year, you can ask those styles of questions. Somebody who wants to get it done in 1 to 2 weeks are normally more financially capable as well. They're more urgent because they don't want to have that burden inside of their house. But if they want to get it done in 2 to 3 months, for example, they either don't have the time to get it done right now, or they just don't have the funds to get it done. But yeah, add 2 to 3 questions before they even hit contact fields, and you will get really good quality leads. From MedSpa, for example, you can just ask the awareness levels of that prospective client and why they want to get Botox, because you want to frame why they need you, right? They want to get Botox because they want to feel more confident or they want to look better in general. So ask these specific questions, and you can also ask that person's like availability or their timeline of how soon they want to get it done. Totally recommend instant forms because it's super good for like cost per results and just volume of leads, especially because you need to get out of the learning phase really quick, and you need 50 conversions before you get out of it, or you'll get stuck in limited learning. You can be really creative in the sense that you could retarget people who did not submit your instant form to a landing page because they maybe need more results or trust to actually submit whatever lead form that's on your landing page. So you can get creative in that sense. But let's get into step number 5. Step number 5 is sales process. Okay, you might ask, Kosh, why do I care about a business's sales process? I run my agency a little bit differently than other people's, but I like making sure a business has a good sales process and implement a couple different things so they can do it a little bit differently, so we get them a lot of results. Because at the end of the day, I run this business because I like making people a shit ton of money, right? So if I'm looking at a business's sales process, I want to look how quick is speed to lead. Once a lead opts in from your instant form or your landing page, you that business owner's receptionist or whoever wants to call them in at minimum like a 0 to 10 minute span. Because after somebody submits your lead form, they're going to get hammered with your competitors' ads. And honestly, it's just whoever picks up the phone the quickest to, get to that customer. You're going to get higher pickup rates, and you're just going to book more estimates or more consults on to your calendar. So just make sure that business owner understands why speed to lead is so crucial. Number 2 is SMS and email is set up properly. So once somebody opts in for your ad or whatever, you want to send them confirmation emails and confirmation SMS, as well as even say they book on Monday and their appointments on Thursday. You want to send them some sort of educational emails, testimonial emails, so they'll be able to, learn more about you and just build that more comfort levels and trust levels. Follow-up model. A lot of business owners just want to talk to warm leads. And I think that having a good follow-up model is a really good practice because it takes 3 to 5 touch points for somebody to either pick up the phone or to either say yes or no. So you can either qualify them or disqualify them. So have that type of, just that specific hygiene for this business, and to basically tell them, hey, like, make sure you're following up the leads, log certain things in your CRM so whoever's calling can, pick up where they started off. But yeah, step number 5 is just sales process. And if you really care about the business to succeed, I'd recommend, clarifying these things with the business owner. But let's get into step number 6 of how we're actually going to scale these campaigns. Step number 6 is actually how to scale your ad campaign, right? You're getting really good results and the business owners are telling you, hey, like, I want more, right? So what you're going to do is you want to make iterations of winning ads. So once you go into your in the ad level, you're going to see like which ads are performing the best. So if say I have 3 creatives in a campaign and ad number 1 and ad number 3 are doing really well for me, what I'm going to do is just make iterations of those 2 ads and increase spend by 20%. You can do this daily or weekly. I'd recommend doing it weekly. I normally don't like to do it daily because just the specific business owners we work with, but I increase spend by 20%, but I make sure that we're hitting our target KPIs, like our cost per leads, our ad metrics, so we're able to keep increasing spend. You also want to turn off fatigue ad sets. This is if you have a couple different ad sets, say you have 2 ad sets, one ad set is doing really well, the other ad set is getting a lot of spend, but your cost per result is super high. I would just turn that off and just make sure that most of the spend is just going to one ad set. And you just want to keep testing new iterations because ad fatigue is real, right? So when ad fatigue is hitting for this specific ad account, you want to make sure that you can refresh with a new batch of creatives right away. I'm also going to talk about what ad metrics to look at and what to do when you hit these sort of like numbers. But number 1 is CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions. If you have high CPMs, if they're $90 and above, you want to narrow down your messaging. You want to narrow down your messaging to a specific avatar. Yes, lead volume may slow down a little bit, but quality will go up and your CPMs will cut in half or even more than half. You also want to look at your click-through rates, but your link click-through rates, if it's under 1%, honestly, just make better creatives or your just messaging is weak. Make better ads and just narrow down or just have better messaging. Maybe your messaging is too broad and you're not talking to your ICP. Number 3 is frequency. What is frequency? Frequency is basically how many times somebody sees your ad. And if your frequency is like above 3, you want to exclude people who already engaged to your Instagram or Facebook, or just target a new audience pool. Target a new specific angle or specific pain point so your ads don't have that high frequency. That's how I would scale a local home service-based business's ad account, and what I would look at and how I would actually gradually scale these campaigns. But yeah, to the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I honestly love making these videos because I know people are stuck when they're working with clients who have small ad spends. But I also have a link in the description. It's just a Google Doc of just a summary of this video, so you can use this as more so of an SOP of what to do before even launching ads. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys in the next one.